Right, this is stabilization test, 4K 60 FPS on both, and I must say I absolutely love how much wider the field of view is on Huawei. Wow, that is a huge difference. No way. Right, can you see this beautiful lake here? I was just on my way back home because I picked the Vivo X200 Ultra, which I will be comparing maybe with both. Let me know which one would you like me to compare it first with, X200 Pro or the Huawei Mate 70 Plus Pro Plus. Guys, this name is so long. But let's go back and switch to the main sensor. So this is stabilization. I think they're both doing a really good job. Just the digital zoom. And let's have a look at that optical zoom times 4. And we got 3.7 on Vivo. But let's have a look at stabilization. But I'm gonna take some pictures now. I'm definitely a huge fan of this ultra wide angle on Huawei because you get a lot more in your frame. So if you love landscape photography, definitely Huawei is your choice. When you go times 1 or 2, there is not much difference. The only difference from what I noticed is when you go times 20 or more, then Vivo just shines. But just for comparison, I'm just show you different shots, and sometimes I prefer Huawei, sometimes I prefer Vivo, but overall, whichever you decide, you will not be disappointed. In this shot, color accuracy was way better on Huawei. In this shot also, the grass was just a little bit more natural on Huawei. I think the biggest difference is when you go times 20 or more, then Vivo is just a clear winner. You can see that there's so much more details. I know the air kicks in, but I don't think there is a better phone for zoom on the market at the moment. Now I'm using dual mode video. Very cool feature, actually. I'm using both lenses. Can you see that beautiful car in front of me? Look at that. Really cool, doesn't it? I will take a couple of pictures of that. Sadly, Vivo does not have the dual mode video. However, I'm recording in 4K 120 frames per second. That looks really cool, don't you think? It was amazing to see all the people passionate about different subjects. Like that Lotus classic car was absolutely stunning. As you know, I am passionate about smartphones, and that's what I will be doing. This is selfie camera, 4K 60 FPS. I mean, look at the Huawei. I can go 0.9 or even super wide. Comparing with Vivo, not a chance. Look how much wider the field of view is. That is very impressive. But let me take a couple of selfies now. I have to say I'm a huge fan of Vivo X200 Pro portrait video mode, and I'm using this now, and it's actually 4K. Sadly, I could not find anything like this on Huawei, unfortunately. But let's have a look at some portrait photography. And what I love about Huawei, you've got variable aperture, which is pretty impressive for portrait photography. Let's have a look at this now. For portrait photography, both are just fantastic. I like how much better the Huawei kept the color skies. Here, the color accuracy is just a little bit better on Vivo. However, I prefer this on Huawei. So whichever you pick for portrait photography, you will not be disappointed for sure. Let me show you how the aperture works. So you have to go to Pro mode, and you can see here, you can see that goes from f4 to f1.4. Nice that I can use this on main camera, but also on ×2. You know, if you're a photographer that you know that the smaller aperture, then better quality, especially at night, and it's really fast. Just for comparison, let me show you on Vivo, right? There is no such a thing on Pro mode. Both devices can use RAW. I can see JPEG and RAW. That's available also on Huawei. See, when I go ×1, I cannot change this. I can tap it with my finger, but the background blur is not going to be as strong. I would have to go 3.7 for that telephoto lens, which will give you that more natural background effect, but it's not actually a proper aperture. There's a lot of AI going on here. I have to show you this because it's pretty amazing, because you can use the changed aperture on the video as well, and I am recording on 4K 60 FPS, as you can see, so the quality should be pretty amazing on that. Wow. I know you might be thinking, oh, there's no Google services. Check this out. It's so easy to install all the Google services, including YouTube. I haven't had the chance to play with Android Auto just yet, but you can see I got the maps and everything, so I don't think you should be worried about this. Camera is absolutely stunning on this device. If you love macro photography, you will not be disappointed here. Huawei has that ×4 optical zoom, which I really like for macro, but even when you go ×10, you crop it in, but the quality still looks pretty nice. And this is 3.7 optical zoom on Vivo. Again, I can go ×10. Quality looks pretty awesome. But let's compare macro shots and see which one is actually better. Just look at the Huawei picture. I can't believe how nicely it managed to get the spider's web. Don't get me wrong, Vivo's also next level. Whichever you pick, you will not be disappointed. These are probably one of the best macro photography smartphones that you can find on the market right now. Selfie at night, and I have to say, camera on Huawei is just next level, especially the selfie. Remember, this phone has autofocus on selfie camera, and look how much wider the field of view is here. Very impressed. Sadly, Vivo X200 Pro doesn't have autofocus on selfie, unfortunately. But let's take some selfies now. You can clearly see how much wider the Huawei is, that you get more details, but when you go somewhere a bit darker, the Huawei is really struggling and the Vivo just shines, but a lot of AI kicking in, which is not great. If you love night photography, long exposure, then you have quite a few options with both. However, Vivo just have a little bit few more. There are 4 on Huawei here. Okay, time to check on the video quality at night. And I have to say, I'm so impressed about that wide field of view on ultra wide angle for vlogging. Wow. That selfie camera, again, another level. It's a very quiet night, just enjoying my camera comparison. So let's switch to main camera now. I am recording in 4K. I think the color is looking a little bit more natural on Huawei. ×4 optical zoom and 3.7 optical zoom on Vivo. Let's go maximum zoom. Wow, that looks pretty nice. ×20. And the same here with Vivo. But let's take some pictures now. say these two are definitely my favorite smartphones in terms of the camera performance. And I have to say, I absolutely love this design. It's smaller, you know, the camera bump isn't as huge. The variable aperture is absolutely amazing, but I'm a huge fan of the selfie camera, and I think I'll be switching my Vivo X200 Pro because of the selfie camera. All my thumbnails you can see on the channel, I actually use smartphones for the thumbnails, and because it's so much wider, I'll be able to get better shots. Don't get me wrong, Vivo is an incredible device. However, selfie is the weakest point, unfortunately. I am using ultra wide angle because selfie is just okay. Let me know your thoughts. Stay tuned because I'll be making more videos like this, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Cheers.